So this is Census Legacies. We had a briefing that was run by the Funders Committee for Civic Participation, where the Inland Empire had a strong presence, not only with CSI, but also Margarita Luna from the California Endowment and Sky Allen from IE Rise represented. We had Native Americans in philanthropy, and we had numerous examples from the Pacific Northwest, from the state of New York, from the state of South Carolina, from Houston metropolitan area. And what we talked about is the great potential that we have here for Census as laying the foundation for inclusive development. We know that there are many funders now. We have at least a dozen that we counted nationally that are interested in inclusive economic development or community development, however it gets phrased. Often, however, even with the best of intentions, it is difficult to stay true to inclusion within that rubric of inclusive economic development. We know this from past experience in our region. It is difficult to do. What we have with 2020 Census Outreach is a game-changing opportunity. Because of investments by the US Census Bureau to stand up these complete count committees throughout the country in ways that they had never done before, we have infrastructure, we have social capital, we have trusted relationships between funders, between funders and nonprofits, government agencies who have all been aligned and coordinated in the work, and the work continues. Probably through October now. We have a few more weeks for completing the count. These tables have also had significant expertise and experience in including hard to count or historically undercounted communities. Importantly, in terms of the narrative, everyone has been seen as an asset, and nonprofits have been valued not only as trusted messengers, but as experts in community. We have a moment now from going to counting everyone to making sure that every voice counts when it comes to the future of our regions. This is the work of Census Legacies, and you can find out more at censuslegacies.org. When we talked about this in the organizing call for Census Legacies, people were blown away, but they immediately got it. They saw why this was so important and essential. So instead of dismantling the census outreach tables and telling everyone, let's rebuild it 9 years from now, the approach is to maintain as many of the relationships, expertise, social capital, and collaborative spirit as possible, to repurpose those tables to truly deliver on the hopes and promises of inclusive regional planning and economic development. And these tables can be consultative tables. So if a developer or a government agency says, who do I turn to consult with on a project? At the very least, we have a consultative table that is ready to go. But beyond that, they can become organizing tables. And then ultimately, perhaps, they can be governing tables to make sure that communities that have been historically undercounted and marginalized have a seat at the table, not only in terms of giving input, but in shared governance. That is the hope for Census Legacies, that in many ways is the nationalization of what you see with IE Rise. You can find out more on our website. Since we're running out of time, I'm not going to say much more, but there are some key elements to the work, and we would love to partner with you. For those who are interested specifically in IE Rise, please contact Sky Allen, sky@ierise.org. And for those interested in Census Legacies, Carla Lopez Del Rio, who joined us now as Associate Director of CSI from Riverside County as the lead partnership specialist for the US Census Bureau. She is a contact for Census Legacies, and that's her email address as well. Thank you everyone for your time today. We've covered a lot of territory. There's a lot of work to be done. We are excited with the high level of funder interest, and not just from philanthropy, but also in the private sector, including those in the green investor space. We look forward to transforming this region with all of you and to make sure that we continue expanding and deepening the work